My name is Angela.
My name is Nicole.
And welcome to the Ominous Stitch podcast. Hello, Stitchers.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Ominous Stitch podcast.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We haven't sung that one in a little bit, so that's good. Bring it back.
We got to bring it back. I'm bringing sexy back.
Oh, Nicole's feeling frisky today, guys. Watch out.
Songs are running through my head.
Nice.
Make me do
I'm
that.
so rubbing off on you.
You are.
It's so good.
Your energy.
It's my energy. Flowers has been in my head all day.
Yes, you've been singing that.
I know.
That's a good song.
I can't help it. It's a good song.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's got a great beat, so it sticks in your head.
Yeah.
Yay.
But welcome back, everybody.
Thank you. Yes, welcome back. We are excited to have you. It is March.
It's March.
March Madness.
Woo woo.
Spring. I got to start pulling out all my spring decorations and
It
put them
feels
out.
like spring.
It does feel like spring. We have a nice, like, misty drizzle going on.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is green.
Everything's
I have to go take my
green.
weed whacker to everything and knock everything back. But yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. And we're in part two.
Part two.
Part two. Of haunted prisons.
Of haunted prisons. I am excited
She's
for this.
peeking at my notes already.
I am. I peeked at her notes. This first prison. Okay, this is a question that I asked Nicole, so I'm going to put this on the podcast. And
Okay.
we're going to do this before we dive into story time because
poll time.
it's fun. You know, we're all over the place today.
Yeah.
So why do some states make their prisons look gorgeous?
Really pretty.
Like they're so
Gothic.
pretty. Yeah. I'm looking at one right now. It looks like a castle. I'm not going to tell you the name of it. You guys
Because you're going to see it soon. Or
You're
hear
gonna see it.
Hear it, see it.
And it's so pretty. And I'm like, why do they make it look so gorgeous
On the
for what it
outside.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
The
like
old ones. I think the new
old
ones
castle-
look
the,
like prisons.
The new ones are, you know, more like practical.
Structured. Yeah.
Yeah. They're structured for practicality. This
Yeah.
is what this is.
It's like
But
one big square.
Yeah.
This one is, the first one I'm going to dive into at story time
It's
looks
so-
like a castle.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get
Anyway.
there at story time.
Yeah.
Before we do any of that, we have
Yes.
like an exciting stitch that I'm going to show you guys during stitch time.
Yes.
And we also need to get stitching.
Yeah.
You guys, I have a really funny one.
Yes, you
that
gotta tell
happened
it.
to me.
You go
first. All right. So I was bugging Nicole earlier today, or not earlier today, but earlier this week. I was at my house by myself. My kids were at school. I'm, just leisurely doing my crochet, trying to get caught up on a bunch of projects. And I started smelling the smell in my house that is not normal smell in my house. It was a beautiful smell. It was very pretty, but it's
Floral?
not, it was like a really floral perfumed smell. And I don't wear perfume and I usually don't have floral scents going. When I light candles, they're usually more earthy.
Yeah.
Or
I like
more
earthy.
like clean smelling. So I don't do a lot of floral smells because a lot of times it gets like heavy and perfumey and it's not my favorite.
Right.
And so I was smelling the smell. I was like, what is this? And it was getting more and more intense. And I'm like, oh, I got to text Nicole because this is like a paranormal thing that's happening. I don't know where this scent is coming from. And it's getting really intense.
It's following you around. You don't use it.
Also, earlier that day, we had an electrician on the property, like fixing some breakers and making some circuits work. And I'm like, ooh, we had some electrical work happening. Some electricity was running through the house. That's
right.
energy.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, woo, maybe we're manifesting something. So I texted Nicole and I was like, Nicole, there's a weird smell in my house. It's not a normal scent and it's very intense and I can't figure out where it's coming from. And Nicole's like, you need to pull out your ghost detection stuff and figure out where that spirit is because you're being hunted. Where is it? And so I did. And I pulled out, I have a couple of different apps on my phone that are fun to play with. I don't know how accurate any of these apps are. So this is the skeptical side of me. But one of them is an SLS detector. So SLS is, they can, if they see an image that looks like a human or looks like kind of like a, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but it's the stick figure thing. You know, you guys have seen them where they make like little stick figures. When they see enough points that look like it's a human object, it makes a stick figure.
Right. It makes a human
looking stick figure. And so I pulled it up and I was pointing it around my house and I was pointing it in a certain direction. And I was like, hello, is anybody here? And then an image pops up. And then it came out and it kind of danced for a second and went away.
She showed it to me.
Well, I know, but it happened many, many, many times. So
you only sent me one?
Yes, I only sent you one because I only recorded once.
Oh, okay.
So, and then it kept coming out. And then I figured out how to actually record those things. But every time I talked to it, it would come out and dance for a second and then go away. And so I got one of them recorded and I sent it to Nicole. And I was like, Nicole, this is what's happening right now. But I can't stay and talk anymore. And I did try to do the spirit box thing where I have another app where it cycles through the frequencies, the different frequencies, like radio frequencies.
You have that one too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a bunch of apps that I just put on my phone. So one that cycles through radio frequencies, and then the thing is like, words will pop up or, but nothing happened.
I remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
So, and I had to go pick up my kids from school. So, I texted Nicole and I was like, okay, this is what I got. There's a person. And she's like, oh my gosh, keep trying to talk to it. And I'm like, I got to go pick up my kids. I can't do that. And I also noticed that when I left my house, the smell was gone. So I was like, dude, I seriously have a ghost. I have a ghost. This is so cool. And I'm like, and I'm not scared of it. I think it's a friendly ghost. And I'm like,
because it smells sweet.
It smells sweet. Mm-hmm. I don't my senses aren't heightened. I feel very relaxed. I'm like, okay. And, it would pop out and pop back, whatever. I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
Right.
And so I went home. I got home from picking up my kids. I'm like, I'm not going to tell them. I don't want them to freak out. We do have a joke because I have a barn door on my office. And it slides closed if you don't lock it. And so the kids have named the spirit that keeps closing the door. I forget what the name is, but they're Cynthia or whatever the name is. They say the name like, Cynthia's at it again, because the barn door will just close on its own.
Okay.
Because it just closes on its own.
Because it's probably slanted.
Yeah.
It's a sliding door.
It's slanted.
Yeah.
So whatever. But the kids are like, and they blame everything on that ghost. And I'm like, ooh, maybe we really do have a ghost. But then what happened, Nicole, what was the next picture that I sent you? I come home and I go into my little powder room to wash my hands because we were doing animal chores. And I look on the wall.
Yep. Something's plugged in. What's plugged in, Angela?
Like a Febreze scent maker is plugged into the wall.
Floral Febreze.
Very floral. So that's what it was. That was the smell.
You didn't plug it in.
I didn't plug it in. So at least there's that. I didn't plug it in and forget.
That wasn't that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I knew we had those. I knew we had those plugins, but I think my husband did it the day before and I just didn't notice it. Yeah.
So her ghost was Febreze, guys.
But yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Love it.
But I mean, I did catch that little spectral thing on my phone.
But
so I
the
don't
spectral
know.
thing, what I noticed was it was the heart crochet thing I'd made for her. It's a round, so it looks like a round head.
Yeah. So you think that's what it was?
Yes.
Oh, boo!
I'm sorry.
So I have no ghosties, but it was exciting for a little bit there.
She was freaking out
until I felt stupid.
Yeah.
I wasn't freaking out. I was more like, this is going to be a great story for the podcast. This is going to be so good for the podcast.
I've got a ghost.
I have a ghost. I'm so excited. And then nothing. No.
Sorry. Not a floral ghost, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
But that's awesome.
All of our paranormal stories are like getting to my head. So I think they're actually happening to me. No, they're not.
It's funny. My coworker asked, she's like, do you ever get scared when you're doing your research and doing these? I'm like, no, actually.
I do. That's probably why you do the majority of them. But yeah, like when I research, like those stories will stay in my head and then I'll like start to psych myself out because I'm here at the farm by myself a lot. And there's a lot of noises because, it's a big farm country area. And so we have a lot of different animals that come through the farm and that live around in neighboring farms. And so you'll hear some crazy sounds especially at night.
Oh, sure.
And so it's like, I mean, most of the time it's like a pack of coyotes, but sometimes it's a bobcat. When bobcats scream, they sound like a screaming woman. It's very weird.
I don't like that.
And, there's other sounds that when it's windy, you'll hear scratching noises because we have a lot of plant life around the house too. So sometimes, the branches will brush up against a window or, whatever.
Spooky.
Yeah, it can get spooky around here. So I do psych myself out. Yeah.
I don't.
I'm
used to it.
You're like, no, this is great.
This is fun. I'm excited.
So Nicole, what has you in stitches?
All right. Do you have good dreams or do you remember your dreams?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Are they usually like normal or are they crazy?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. They usually will start off pretty normal and then I'll start noticing that something is off or something isn't right. And then it will start deteriorating into crazy.
Nice.
So like, for example, one of the most common things that I have is I'll be in a familiar setting. Like, let's say I'm here in where we record, which is in the living room of my farm.
Yes.
That's where we record. So I'll be here doing something completely normal in a very normal, familiar space. And then I'll go to a different room and it's a room that isn't attached to the farm. It's a completely different space. And then it forms like this crazy maze that I'm going through and
It's your brain.
And I can't find my way out.
It's your brain.
I can't find my way out of my brain. And I'm usually, another thing that happens is that I'm very attached to my husband. So I'll start noticing that he's not with me as I'm getting lost.
Oh no.
And then I'm like, I have to find my husband. I have to find him. And then I can't find him. And then that usually will wake me up if I can't find him.
Aww.
So what I've started doing when I have these dreams is I'll reach over and touch him while I'm sleeping. And then I'm fine. Then my dream kind of goes back to normal and I reset. So yeah, I know. See, that's my level of code. It's cute, but it's very,
You're like, I know this isn't right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fun.
But I do have, that's kind of the normal progression of my dreams. They'll start off pretty normal and then they'll turn into this weird, wacky maze where things keep happening. And I then will eventually start to panic and feel lost because I don't know how to get out of the situation that I'm in.
I'm sorry.
So I'll either wake up or put my hand on my husband and things will go back to normal.
Interesting. And do you remember dreams after that?
I'll remember them. I'll remember aspects of the dream. They won't be as vivid, but I will remember certain parts of the dream that were more vivid or more jarring.
Interesting.
Or the kind of how they start. Yeah. But I do remember them. I had very vivid dreams when I was a kid. So I used to.
Me too.
Did you?
Yes.
So this was my trick that I started to do because I would, and I taught this to my kids too, because my oldest used to have night terrors.
Oh no.
And so I taught her how to kind of fall into dreamland and have set herself up for a good dream rather than one of her nightmares coming in or a bad dream waking them up. And so we'd always start off with, you're in a movie theater, you have your favorite snacks with you and you're in your most comfortable chair and the movie will start playing. And that movie is the dream that you want to be in for the night.
You're like lucid dreaming.
Right.
Great.
So I would teach them how to do that. So that's the technique. So they would, like put on a movie. If you like the movie, then you can sink back in your chair and keep watching the movie and enjoy that. But if you don't like the movie, then you can say next, please. So I would teach them if it's one of their nightmares, then they pull the reel off of the movie machine. What is it called? The projector.
Projector, yeah.
The movie machine.
I love that.
They would pull the reel off the projector and then they would visualize a trash can and throw it in the trash and then they would never have that dream again.
Wow.
And it works.
Okay.
Like that's what I used to do when I was little and I teach that to them and they wouldn't have that bad dream anymore.
That's so smart.
So here's a little gift for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
So I'm totally taking over your story time.
I wanted to know. That's great.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because I still remember dreams when I was about 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're still vivid in my brain. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but
nothing's wrong with you.
I have the most intense, crazy dreams.
Wow.
Always.
Okay.
Always. And I remember. Anyway, so I had one this week and I wanted to share it with you because I want to show you how ChatGTP is amazing.
Okay.
Because it can do everything for you. I don't recommend relying on it for everything, but
yeah, if you're stuck on something, you can ask it for help and it will inspire you.
Yes.
I think that's the best way to use it.
Yes. And you're not, don't use it for verbatim, but sometimes it just helps you. Anyway, so I had this crazy dream where I'm with a group of people and I know I'm being held captive, but it's not like at the surface. It's like, I know deep down, like this isn't right.
Yeah.
And so it's like nighttime. I know to the left of me is this huge field. And then beyond the field, there's this neighborhood.
Okay.
Like housing neighborhood.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm on like this, like it's like a hill. And so there's bars.
Ooh,
like, not
fun.
big bars, but big enough to hold us in.
Oh, not like a bar to go get a drink. Okay.
No. Oh.
We popped it. Okay. So
yeah.
not like a bar to get a drink.
Like prison bars.
Prison bars. Ooh.
Yes, but not what you think. Okay. It's just, anyway, it's hard to
kind
explain.
Of more like a playpen.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how it felt, but they were metal. So at one point, they're like hanging out I knew for a fact that the person holding me captive or holding us captive was a blonde lady.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm redhead now. I'm not blonde.
Yeah,
it wasn't me.
Not you. For sure, not you.
It wasn't me.
So I'm pulling at I turn around and I pull at the bars and I'm able to like wrench them open to the point where I could squeeze through. And I'm like, okay, I got my escape plan.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. At some point I escape, I get out and I start running and I like hide behind this like plateau of grass. And this lady's like looking for me. And she's like right behind one of the stairs. And I'm like ducking down. And then I run around and I go into this like alcove to hide. And she's like right there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
but
no.
then that's where my dream ends. It changes completely to this big house that's like it's like in the middle of construction, but I know it's my house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's in the middle of construction. I go in and it's my husband's birthday. Hey.
Oh yay, happy birthday.
Yeah. My mother-in-law's there. My kids are there. I make this like crazy doll candle. Like, I don't know. Don't ask me. Anyway, I remember very vivid details. We're singing happy birthday. And then all of a sudden it changes again. Bunch of people were being held captive again.
Nicole.
By some older
blonde
guy.
Oh, not the blonde lady.
Changes.
Oh, okay.
Some older guy with like gray beard, gray hair. And I'm like, okay. So I remember, vividly, I'm wearing this gray hoodie, jean shorts, and I'm putting on tennis shoes. I'm putting on tennis shoes because I'm like, I'm going to run soon.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to run. And it's on the same hill, it's same field, same everything, right? And I'm like, I see him and I'm about to run and then my dream ends.
Oh.
Okay. So I was like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
Like,
did you look it up?
I looked it up. That's why I said
nice,
Chat
nice.
GTP is amazing. So
Okay.
I wrote it and I kind of copied it. So this is crazy. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Being held captive. Okay.
Okay.
This could represent feelings of being trapped or restricted in some aspect of your life. It may indicate that you're experiencing limitations or obstacles that prevent you from achieving your goals. I had been thinking that day before that I was like, I need to make more money. I need to.
Oh,
yes. So I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. So that was relating, I think. Being the only one who knows. This suggests a sense of isolation or being misunderstood in your waking life. I was like, cool. Probably
yeah.
job things.
Oh, no.
It's okay. Trying to escape. The desire to escape indicates a longing for freedom or liberation from whatever is holding you back. So again, I think that's a financial thing. It's crazy. Okay. Bars that can be squeezed through. This could symbolize opportunities for escape or solutions to your problems that may seem narrow or restricted at first, but are still achievable with effort and determination.
Good.
So my
That's
brain's
good.
like, you can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do it.
This.
You'll find a solution. I'm like, awesome. Escaping, then being back in the house. This cycle of escape and return may reflect a pattern in your life where you may progress towards your goals only to find yourself back in a familiar situation or facing the same challenges again.
That makes sense.
Right?
Because I know that you're taking on more things at work.
Right.
And
so I was like, yeah, I'm doing great. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then, so I get that. That's a good feeling.
Okay.
It could suggest the need for deeper reflection or a more sustainable solution. Okay, cool. I get that. Facing different people, the changing identities of the person keeping you from escaping from a girl to an older man could represent different aspects of yourself or external influences that are hindering your progress. It may suggest that the obstacles you face come in various forms and may require different approaches to overcome. I was like, yeah, that's right. Because maybe I'm thinking about like, I need to make more money, but this route may not be the best. So I'm going to, change my, pivot and Anyway, it makes a lot of sense.
Nicole.
It's creepy.
That's awesome.
My brain is crazy and it's telling me a lot of things. So I was like, okay, we're going to podcast and we're going to do so much more with it maybe. And that's a really good avenue.
Maybe I am the blonde lady and I'm keeping you from like achieving more with the podcast.
That's not it. No.
If you guys want to help support our podcast.
No, but seriously, it was just amazing how like I feel really in tune with what my brain was telling me, my subconscious. And like what I was thinking that day. And like, you can do this. I felt more empowered by it than anything.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yay,
So,
Nicole.
Dreams are amazing. I don't know if everybody else has crazy dreams. I know my husband doesn't at first. He was like, I don't dream. But now we bought new pillows and he's like, I'm having crazy dreams. So I was like, maybe that's changing things. I don't know. But anyway, I just know since I was little, I'm just, I feel like that's where I learned the most.
I used to keep a dream journal.
Yes.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I write them down when they're this crazy.
Yeah.
Like most of the time they're not that insane.
Yeah.
They're weird, but
yeah. I mean, no, dreams are, your brain is downloading all the information that you've taken in. So a lot of it is information that you've kind of passed over or glazed over, and then it hits you at random times in your dream, and you're like, why? But it's really your brain trying to process and make sense of all of the information and all the feelings and all the thoughts that you maybe just kind of swept under the rug for a little bit.
Like they're the back of everything. Because there's, I'm doing life. Life is freaking crazy. And I'm always on, like, I'm always doing stuff. But anyway, it's crazy. And, but again, shout out ChatGTP. I wasn't going to, like, you can look up dream things constantly. There are websites.
But this is very specific to your dream. Yeah.
And I was like,
you were able to be like, this is my dream. What does it mean?
Yes. So use it sparingly. When you need it.
Don't use it for term papers.
No, please don't do that.
Yeah, because as two people coming from education, we can check. We know.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Yeah, I've caught people before. That's another story for another day. But anyway, so let us know. Do you guys dream a lot? Like, what's your dreams like?
What's your dream?
Do you feel stressed out?
Yeah, well, I would say that most of our listeners are putting their hands in the air.
Right? Holy cow.
Put my hands up. No.
You got Miley on the brain.
I do. It's you know why? Because I was watching a bunch of YouTube footage of her talking about her. She has this whole series of When I Was Young, and she's talking about different things from her journey from Hannah Montana to who she is now.
Yeah.
She it's crazy.
Roller coaster.
Like, sure. It's a roller coaster. Like what she went through and the way that she chose to deal with being stuck in a box as a child star and being told she had to be this one certain way and knowing that that wasn't authentically her, and how she rebelled greatly against it
much,
and in ways that weren't necessarily healthy, but she owns everything. I think she is so cool. Aww. She's cool.
That's awesome.
She's cool. It's interesting the journey that she went to get to who she is now. But like she's very empowered. She knows exactly who she is, and she's like, it's cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I love her song When I Was Young. Have you heard that one? It makes me cry. And it's her video is really cool too, because I'm going on a Miley tangent here. Her video is really cool because like it's just her and she's standing. I'll show you the video later, but it's like the song starts and it's just her, and she kind of walks into frame, and then it's kind of like wind and light kind of circles around her. So a lot of times she's in darkness and sometimes her face is in light, but it's just a video of her face, really. And the way her expression changes from being very like repentant and sad and almost a little bit shameful and very like timid and apologetic at the very beginning to being fully empowered at the end of the song.
Aww.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
It's a really, I don't know. It's cool.
I love that.
Tangent. Woo woo.
Bird.
Squirrel. Oh man. Okay. we have an exciting episode that we need to get to, so we should probably do that.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be long, but that's good.
That's okay.
I love it.
We've been making them longer and longer, so our stitchers are hanging in. I think we've been getting more and more stitchers the longer that we're doing, so like that's kind of crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, so thank you to all of our new listeners.
Yes, thank you.
We do see you.
Yes.
So give us a shout out and say hi so we can get to know you better.
We'd love that.
We want to get to know all of our stitchers and make sure that you're really real and not just bot that's like playing us on repeat. Okay, so we should get stitching now.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get stitching. Okay, stitchers. So for today's stitch, I am finishing up this mandala that I started way like a month or so ago in January. I'm almost done.
It's so pretty.
I have 4 more rounds or rows to do.
I am excited to share this photo.
I know. I can't wait to finish this up
Yeah.
and get this photo done.
Yeah.
And then ship it off to its new owner, who I know is like super excited. Hi,
Yeah.
Becca. Yes, it is your blanket.
Hey.
She knows. But yeah, I'm excited to finish this up
It's
and ship it off to her.
gorgeous.
But it made me think of this one stitch that I did in my first mandala that I did. And it's also and it's been popping up. And this is a weird thing about TikTok. I think they're reading my brain because I haven't said the words.
Oh, creepy.
And then it just started popping up as I was thinking about it. Yeah,
That's
creepy,
too
right?
creepy.
So, it's been popping up. This is called the crab stitch.
Crab
Stitch. Or there are 2 ways to do this stitch. So I thought I would show you both ways.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
it's really cool.
I love that.
It is definitely a finishing stitch because there really is no way to enter the stitch once it's done. So you do it to kind of, as your final edging on a project that you're working on. Or when I was doing the other mandala pattern, you were able to go back into a previous row to keep going with the blanket. So it does make a really cool pattern.
I love
This
that.
is a pattern that you would use like on the top if you're doing a basket. It will finish off the top of the basket.
Okay.
Or it's just kind of like this really interesting little scallopy looking thing, right?
Gallopy.
Right? It's kind of, I don't know how to describe
Yeah.
it.
How do you it's
It's
like a
very-
checkerboard?
Well, it's a very like just rounded
Oh, that
edge.
part. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
looking
just
at
a
the
granny
middle.
square. Don't look at the granny square. This is the green. We're talking about the green here. So it makes like this really interesting
Yes.
rounded scallopy
It's like
edge.
a spiral notebook.
Like a spiral notebook. Oh, that's a good way to do it.
Her eyes went.
I know. So I learned how to do the crab stitch one way, but then I saw on all my TikTok stuff and on my TikTok. So TikTok or Instagram Reels, whichever one I was scrolling through at the time, because they were both doing it, showed me a new way to do it. So I'm going to show Nicole both ways.
I love it.
Okay. So basically the original crab stitch, which is this way here, if you notice, I'm going backwards.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's what the crab stitch is. It's a reverse single crochet.
Oh.
So you're going backwards in
Okay.
your single crochet. So I'm going to enter the stitch behind where I normally would go.
Right.
So I'm left-handed. We work left to right.
Yes.
I am
The
now
right way.
going. The way you read is the way we work. I am now going backwards.
Oh,
I'm going
gosh.
right to left.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to enter the stitch behind where I normally would, right?
Yes.
So I'm going here into this left stitch and I'm going through both loops on my hook.
Weird.
I'm drawing up a loop and then I'm making a single crochet. And that's the crab stitch. You're just going backwards.
Oh, weird. But
a
it's making that
Reverse.
loop.
Yes. It's also known as reverse single crochet.
Oh, fun.
And so it makes these fun little loops. And
love
so,
it.
I mean, that's it. It's a reverse
Super
single
easy.
crochet or a crab stitch,
Making
right?
spirals.
But a lot of people find it difficult to go backwards.
Right. Because it's like reading backwards.
Yeah.
what's
It's like,
going
how do
on?
I go backwards? So
That's cool.
you can also do it going forwards,
Oh,
going
wow.
your normal way. So what you do is you twist.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a single crochet with a twist. So I'm going to go into this stitch like how I normally would. I'm going through both loops, pulling up a loop. Before I yarn over and pull through my final loop, I'm going to spin my hook
Whoa.
360 degrees. Then I'm going to grab the loop and pull through.
Oh, that's hard. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not hard like to do. I mean, to think about it, but to do, like, 'cause it's tight, right?
It's tight. So you want to make sure that you have a lot of space.
Yeah.
And so you spin your hook all the way around,
and then you
grab a
pull
loop
through.
and pull through both.
Wow, cool.
So that is I forget what they call it. But
if you're working backwards, so when you just start and then you just start working backwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You just start working backwards.
Crazy.
It's an edging, so you're going to do it all the way around your piece. Yeah. So does that make sense? But look, it looks the same, and it really is the same because you're spinning the yarn in the single crochet.
Right.
So when that happens, it makes like a spiral effect.
That's so fun.
There's no stitch to enter, so you can't go through any loops. Yeah, you're closing off the stitches.
Cool.
Yeah, and it makes this really cool spirally edge.
I might do that for my what's this called?
Mosaic crochet. Yes, the
because
retro flowers.
Then I could do that. Oh,
you can do that on the edges there if you want to.
And then I could cut off all the fringe if I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah. I love that.
So that's it. It's either the reverse single crochet or crab stitch, or it's a forward single crochet with a twist.
I love that.
Yeah. So you twist it all the way around.
So that's how you're going to close off your mosaic blanket?
No.
Oh.
It's just an edging. So I learned this stitch when I was doing my other mandala.
One. That's right.
Yeah, my other mandala.
That's right.
And you can do it in the middle of a project as long as you have another loop behind. So like I could see how I have all these third loops back here.
Yeah.
So if you were doing anything in your project that is a half double crochet or above, you do have a third loop in the back that you can enter.
Got it.
And keep going. And then you'll just have this little fun spiral detail going on in the middle of your project.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So you can do that.
Fun.
But yeah. So that's it. That was the whole stitch. Nice, short and sweet.
Super easy. I love it. Thank you for showing me.
You're welcome. So that's another little stitch to add to your arsenal.
I learned so much from
little
mandala.
Decorative thing. Yay.
That's so cool.
Well, I learned so much from you, Nicole.
Aww.
You tell me all kinds of interesting facts.
Because it's weird because you love it, but you don't know all the creepy
I don't
things.
know anything. Yeah.
That's why I like to bring it to you.
I know. So I'm ready for story time. Are you ready?
Yes.
It's story time.
Stitchers, you ready for part deux?
Yes.
Part deux.
Part
so
deux.
Last week, if you were listening, we had 2 prisons or penitentiaries too. So this week we're going to have 3.
Ooh.
Okay? We're going to start off with the photo and prison that
the
Angela
beautiful castle
was peeking over at. And this is the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty, you guys. So that's what makes it more creepy to me.
Yes.
Because I'm like, it's pretty on the outside and ugly and dark and gross on the inside. And that combination is always scary because it's like, in people and life, and that duality is always like, ugh.
But have you ever watched, and I think you recognize this place. Have you ever watched Shawshank Redemption?
Oh, yeah. Is that where they filmed it?
This is where they filmed it.
Oh.
And many, many other things, which I'll talk about.
I love Shawshank. That's, by the way, incidentally, that's our code that we yell whenever the alpacas get out of their enclosure. We go, Shawshank! And we know that we have to try to round them up and wrangle them.
Nice. Nice. I love that reference. Yep. Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite movies. Like, if you put me on those questions where you're on an island and you can only have like 10 movies.
Shawshank would be one.
Shawshank's one of them. I love this movie. It's
a beautiful movie.
Yeah. Now, like I said, tons of movies, TV shows, even music videos have been filmed here. And I can list those off later if you want. But there's also a lot of paranormal stories associated with this old reformatory. A lot. Yes.
Woohoo. So I'm excited.
Yes. But as always, I'm going to go back, way back. In 1862, okay?
Oh, wow.
The site of the old reformatory was just a large field where Civil War soldiers used it as a training camp.
Oh, interesting.
So it has some history on the land itself. It was entitled Camp Mordecai Bartley, who was the Ohio governor in the 1840s. But then just 5 years later, the site was proposed to be the new intermediate penitentiary. The total cost of the land to build. This is insane. Ready?
Yeah.
$1,326,769 back then.
That's how much it cost to build that?
To purchase all that land.
Oh, just purchase the land. What?
1 million.
That's insane
Back
for
then.
1860s?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Why? Why is it so much? I don't know. It was insane. Now, the intermediate was to be a halfway point between the boys' industrial school in Lancaster and the state penitentiary in Columbus, which was intended to house young first-time offenders. Even though construction began in 1886, it took roughly 24 years to complete it due to funding problems. Probably because they spent it all on
They spent all the
land.
money buying the land.
Yeah.
This is the place that did not want to be built.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, crazy,
and
right?
like the tenacity it took to stick with it and be like, no, we're
gonna
building
do
this halfway
We need it,
reformatory.
right?
That's crazy to me.
Crazy.
I feel like most people would have given up.
Right? They're like,
But
no, too
no,
much.
it's too much.
Too much. We're going to move it.
Wow.
Yes, but as Angela saw, it's this gorgeous building drew from 3 architectural styles: Victorian Gothic, Richardsonian Romanesque, and Queen Anne.
Yeah.
So that's why they were like, let's make this pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They were like, if we're going to do this, we
Yeah.
are going to
Do
make it
right.
worth it. Yeah.
So in 1891, the name changed to the Ohio State Reformatory. Another 5 years later, the doors finally opened and 150 offenders were housed. Now, the goal for these prisoners, quote unquote, to receive religion, education, and a trade. Okay, so it's a halfway. It's not like you're being punished. They wanted them to,
Transition back into society and be a productive member of society.
Exactly.
But productive in, okay.
Yeah.
I have thoughts. But yeah.
If they demonstrated progress of rehabilitation to being a better citizen in the world, they would be released in 18 months. So it wasn't very long. But if not, they were given another 18-month sentence to stay in the reformatory. There was a high success rate with the release of many. However, in the early 1960s, funding was pulled to support this model, and the reformatory was converted into a maximum security facility, which brought in prisoners with violent offenses and serial crimes. The prison soon became overpopulated.
Of course it did.
Yep.
Because that's what we do.
Yes.
Oh, man.
The increased population and understaffing brought a series of torturous punishments like the hole, which we all know, but I'll elaborate more later.
Yeah.
The sweat box.
Oh.
Yeah. No other description, but use your imagination.
Yeah.
Water tubes. Yep.
No.
And the butterfly, an electrical shocking device.
Oh, no.
Yes. By the 1980s, the condition of the reformatory deteriorated to the point where the inmates sued the state of Ohio and they won. That's how bad it was. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, like, I've heard a lot of just even like recent news within the last couple years. I don't know. I want to say it was a John Oliver thing where he was talking about the state of prisons. And I'm pretty sure it was John Oliver. The state of prisons in America and how a lot of them don't have air conditioning. And then if you're in a place like in the South where it gets really hot and humid and you have zero air conditioning and you're all packed in, like, and the conditions in some of these prisons is just,
it's insane.
It's inhumane. It's inhumane. People die of heat stroke, even if they have air conditioning. And
seriously.
Like, just, it's so...
It's sad.
How do we treat people like this? How do we think it's okay to treat people like this?
Some people are mean. They think, oh, you did something bad, you should be punished.
They don't see people as people.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway.
I'm going to get off my
We'll
soapbox.
Well, the state began construction on a new modern facility nearby, and the reformatory closed its doors in 1990. For several years, the building sat empty until activists purchased the building from the state and began working on the restoration as a historical structure. Today, the building houses the Ohio State Corrections History Museum, along with numerous special events and plenty of ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts visit. Mm-hmm. The reformatory welcomes roughly 120,000 visitors per year. So they're very into it. And again, because it's a filming location,
Yeah.
Apparently, over 200 people died in the reformatory, including 2 guards who were killed during escape attempts. In 1932, Frank Hanger met a bloody end as he was beaten to death during the prison escape attempt. Sadly, most harsh acts of violence took place in the hole, which we learned about in the previous prisons. Prisoners would attempt and even succeed in hanging themselves in the cells, and one even set himself on fire.
Oh, no.
That's how bad it was. Imagine. And in 1957, there was a huge prison riot, and an estimated 120 prisoners were given 30-day sentences in the hole, which was only equipped with 20 cells.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Wait, let's do math.
Let's do math. 120 divided by 20.
6.
Good.
Okay. Yay, math. I did it. Did I do it right?
Yes,
yeah.
You did it right.
I'm like, that was fast. Did I do it right? Wow.
Yeah. Sadly, it's known that at one point, 2 inmates would be forced to share the same isolation cell. So again, this is a smaller one. Only one emerged alive. Yeah. The other was stuffed beneath a bunk.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And wouldn't you know, the hole is definitely an area that is haunted.
Yeah.
So let's discuss the spooky locations of the old reformatory and its ghosties.
Yay.
So according to darkartandcraft.com, the basement holds 2 entities. Legend goes a 14-year-old boy was beaten to death in the basement.
No.
Yes.
14.
14. Because remember, this was a, reformatory.
The halfway house. Yeah. Halfway house. Whatever. Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his spirit has never left. People claim to see a shadow flickering across walls or speeds around out of the corner of your eye. But he's not as ominous as the other entity, as you will feel something unnerving and unsettling approach when the quote unquote guard is in your presence. People who have felt this presence describes it as sinister, and some believe it to be the murderer of the young boy.
Oh, that's so... He's keeping the young boy there and like continuing to torture him?
Or it's residual. It could be that both of them still there because it was so much energy, but I don't know. Who knows? Okay. Then we have the hole, as I mentioned, and this is tied to so much trauma and pain. Many who visit the hole experience nausea, cold spots, hearing strange, unearthly breathing, and a lot of discomfort. Some have seen disembodied shadows and heard moans and strange sounds.
As I moan.
Then there's the chair room.
Uh-oh.
This room has no windows and just a single chair sitting in the middle of the room facing the door. Yeah.
That's creepy on its own.
Right, on its own. The legend around this room is that a very dark entity lives in this room and wants the single chair to stay right in the middle of the room. If someone moves the chair, most likely you will find it in the middle again, but moved by unseen hands.
Okay. This is like ringing bells. I want to say that my 2 favorite ghost hunters, Ryan and Shane, went to Ohio State Reformatory. I'm pretty sure they did. And they moved the chair. Yeah, they moved the chair.
Did it go back?
I don't remember.
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
Probably not.
I don't remember. Shane probably was like, I'm going to throw your chair. And Ryan's probably like, don't touch the chair. Yeah.
They're funny.
Yeah.
Again, according to darkartandcraft.com, they found one account of someone who sat in the chair and intentionally provoked the malevolent spirit that lingers in that room.
Probably Zach Bagans. Okay.
You're funny. You gotta leave it in. Now, after yelling at it to do something, the person was left with scratch marks down their back.
Of course. Don't provoke.
Don't do that.
Gosh.
The East Wing first floor, where the toilet room and east showers are, is a hot spot for paranormal activity. Many people have seen shadow people in there.
Ooh.
And in the west attic, apparently a well-known paranormal celebrity, they didn't say who it was, who knows, experienced something there and refused to go back in. The official website for the Ohio State Reformatory won't say who it is, like I said, but their scarf was grabbed by an unseen entity and he noped it out of there.
Who wears a scarf that does paranormal? I'm thinking coffee.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because
Jeff
he always,
got-
yeah, he always wears scarves.
True.
And he does a lot of paranormal
He does, and
investigation.
he's really good at picking things up. That could be.
That's what I want to say.
Okay.
I don't know. I just,
That's your speculation.
that's my speculation.
Okay. Now, even before the reformatory was abandoned, there were spooky reports from the inmates themselves. Yeah, many told guards they were scared at night because they all claimed that invisible hands were grabbing at their bed sheets, pulling them tight and loose.
I don't like that.
As if something or someone was tucking them in. The inmates, Angela, the inmates. And this
Something's tucking them in. I don't
someone's
like.
watching over them.
You guys, I'm having an. I don't.
You hate
anything
beds,
in
yes.
beds when you're trying to sleep. It gets me. It gets me so much. Like I feel my face getting hot. I've got chills everywhere.
She's laughing like nervously. It's love. I love it.
Oh, okay. You got me, Nicole.
Yay. Good. Yeah. Now, this wasn't just in one section of the building. Different inmates all over the prison stated the same thing. This one ghosty just tucking them all in.
Oh no, that's.
This you're gonna love
So
this.
bad.
You're gonna love this.
Oh no.
Some even claimed to peek over the side to see one's loose sheets tucked nicely under the mattress. So they're looking and they're like, "What just happened?"
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm crying.
Ghostwalks.com gathered many different eyewitness accounts of supernatural phenomenon at the Ohio State Reformatory. And here are a couple that I thought were super spooky.
Okay.
I just got back from visiting Mansfield and we had an experience in the cell marked with an X. Taken back to the cell block after a tour, 9 of us and a guide heard something in the hallway. The guide went silent, sounded like running, and she yelled out, "Running is not allowed," thinking it was a guest. Then she saw no one was missing. A distant cell door slammed. As we left, I noticed our guide looking scared and soaked with sweat. Like crazy. I'd be scared too.
I love it.
The other one's short. I worked in Mansfield last year and was assigned to the hole. Me and another girl in the empty space on opposite ends. We heard shuffling around in the hallway, thinking it was visitors who I didn't know we were there. So visitors probably, she thought they were there. Okay.
Yeah.
I looked over to the other girl and smiled as if to say, "Let's scare them." She smiled back. We jumped out and screamed. The hallway was empty. The shuffling gone.
That's awesome. Who got scared in that
Yeah,
scenario?
right? And then on Reddit, someone posted a pretty eerie photo, which I'm going to show you. And I'll share it on socials. Okay, but here's the story. First, I'm a skeptic. I'm normally here debunking things. On my trip to OSR last week, I took a few photos down the East Wing. I found something off in one of the photos. The area is chained off. Yes, someone could have went past the chain like staff or guest. Included are 3 photos unaltered and the same photos but zoomed in. The image in question I highlighted in blue. A second picture was taken a few seconds later and no object is seen. A third image is added to show the same area, and I'm just going to show her the 2.
Okay.
This was taken on an iPhone 13, no flash. I did some blue highlights of the area, but the anomaly in question is at the end of the hall between an entryway. Okay, ready?
Okay.
So that's the empty area.
Yeah, but it's not empty.
Do you see it?
Oh, wait. Okay.
So this is the empty hallway.
Yeah. And then there's a ghost there.
Yeah, what is that?
Bring it closer. Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm stealing the computer.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at it. What is that? It looks like a small figure, right?
It does. I'm trying to it does. It looks like a small foot or leg or it's I don't know.
It looks like a little person almost.
It does.
Because it's not there in that other picture.
It's definitely not there in the other picture. And it's definitely not a shadow.
Right?
That's weird, man. Nicole.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Interesting.
Crazy, right? Anyway.
That's so crazy.
So He couldn't debunk it. Why was that there, you know? And I don't think it was, I mean, it's so small in a way
it's small. It looks like it's half a person. Like, because you can't, I don't know. It looks like it's just like a leg.
Yeah.
You can definitely see a leg.
Right.
And then most of a torso, maybe the full head figure. I don't know. It's kind of blurry.
It's hard to see,
the leg looks very defined, but
Right.
everything above that, it gets a little blurry as you go up.
So but anyway, what is that?
Interesting. I don't
What
know.
is it? Lastly,
What's in the hallway?
I'm so glad
You guys, I finally know what's in the box. We'll get to it, but oh my gosh.
My Reading joke. Okay. So, hey, do you want to attend Parapsychon, the Paranormal and Psychic Convention that's held this year at the Ohio State Reformatory?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
So everybody, if you are near Ohio, if we can go, I don't know. We'll see. It's May 17th through 19th.
Oh,
we probably
how
won't
cool.
go,
Yeah,
but
we probably won't go.
It's in Ohio.
Yeah.
But check it out for us if you are, close to it. 'Cause that would be so much fun to do that there.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, they have so many guests. I was looking at the lineup, but it looks fun.
I would love to go to something like that.
Yeah, we'll have
so
something
cool.
in Ohio, in California
Ohio.
at some point.
Yeah.
So anyway, check it out. All right, we go on to the Missouri State Penitentiary.
Ooh. Yeah. See, that's another pretty building.
Exactly.
It's not
bigger
as pretty.
too.
Yeah, it's not as pretty as Ohio. And then
No.
like it also has like other add-ons
yes.
that you can tell they're totally different.
Yes.
It's
They were
different
like, oh,
brick,
let's
it's
put
a
something in
different thing.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
It's still pretty.
Yes, I bring you to Jefferson City, Missouri, to a prison that Time magazine dubbed the bloodiest 47 acres in America.
Oh my gosh. That's
Time
ominous,
magazine.
dude.
We'll talk about why.
Ugh.
So it was constructed in the early 1830s to serve the newly admitted state of Missouri. Prisoners were actually used during the 1830s to make the bricks to construct the prison.
Yeah.
So they're building their own house.
Of course.
The prison was completed and opened in March of 1836, making it the oldest operating prison west of the Mississippi River.
Yay.
Yeah, you're like, In 1868, Housing Unit 4, also known as A Hall, was built for post-Civil War criminals, and stone was quarried in sight by prisoners. Again, A Hall is the oldest building on the MSP site today. By 1935, Missouri State Penitentiary housed about 5,300 inmates. I have a cool picture. See this? This is like,
Oh yeah. It's a really
1930s.
old picture.
Yeah.
And they're all
and they're in their line.
lined up.
Yep. Some notorious inmates include James Earl Ray, Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassin, Charles Arthur Pretty Boy Floyd, bank robber and murderer, and Charles Sonny Liston for robbery and larceny.
Wow.
But he learned to box at the penitentiary, went on to win the National Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
James Earl Ray was sentenced to 20 years for holding up a St. Louis Kroger. While in prison, he served time in the prison bakery and in 1967 snuck into a large box used to ship bread. He managed to escape and in April of 1968, sadly gunned down Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I didn't put this in my notes, but no, he thought this would get him notoriety and become like a savior to people. And he was like, oh no, that was the opposite effect because everyone hated him.
Well, yeah.
Yes. And I was like, what were you thinking, man? So anyway, not thinking.
He was full of hate.
Yes.
Like that's
Yes. He just, I think he just targeted somebody knowing that was somebody very big. So anyway,
yeah.
Missouri State Penitentiary most likely received its nickname due to the major riot on September 22nd, 1954. 2 inmates faked illnesses to attract the guards' attentions, and once they arrived, they were ambushed and the keys were taken. The 2 inmates then ran down cell blocks and corridors, releasing all the inmates. Yeah. The Missouri State Highway Patrol, the Missouri National Guard, and police departments from Jefferson City, St. Louis, and Kansas City all aided to stop the riot. So there's just like tons of people coming in.
That's like all hands on deck.
Yes,
That's calling
exactly.
everybody in.
Yep. When the prisoners were controlled and the riot stopped, 4 inmates had been killed, 29 injured, and 1 attempted suicide. 4 guards were seriously injured. Several buildings were burned, and no inmates ever escaped. So that's why that bloodiest in America nickname.
So it was all for nothing.
All for nothing. Then on October 22nd, 2003.
Like,
okay?
here's my question
yes.
for, and I mean, we obviously can't answer it, but like, if you escape, like, what then? I mean, you're going to get either caught again or you can't live.
Join society.
Yeah.
You were always
So
on the
it's
run.
like,
I guess you try to get to Mexico. I have no idea. No idea.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. October 22nd, 2003. Okay. This was 21 years ago. I can't believe 2003 was 21 years ago.
I know. I'm like, it was yesterday.
Right.
Or like in last week's episode, I thought we started crocheting in 2000. Yeah.
That's right.
Right. 2001 is what I said. I think
Yeah.
2001.
Nope.
Oh man.
Time
20
flies.
freaking years,
20
man.
years. I don't feel that old, but anyway. Inmate Shannon Phillips and Christopher Sims murdered fellow inmate Toby Viles in the prison's ice plant with an attempt to escape. Phillips and Sims hid in a concealed room from corrections staff and was planning for an extended stay until a staff member accidentally hit a hole into the pegboard that covered the wall where the small entrance to the room was. They were there for 4 days, and they had planned to stay until the penitentiary closed for good because this was around the corner to escape.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nope, they caught. Missouri upheld the death sentence, and the penitentiary executed 39 prisoners in the gas chamber. The last inmate to be executed was in 1989. George Tiny Mercer, whom was the first to be given a lethal injection. I feel like a broken record in all these separate prisons and penitentiaries, but Missouri State also had their own hole, only they called it the dungeon, which is more appropriately named. Here, prisoners were whipped to mere inches of their life.
No, why?
Yes, and would spend most of their time in here. There were roughly 8 cells that were crammed with 12 to 18 men with no bedding, bunks, blankets, mats, or toilets.
No toilets?
No toilets. That's sad.
Oh my gosh. It's
Inhumane.
more than sad. It's inhumane.
Yes. Yes. On October 14th, 2004, the Missouri State Penitentiary was closed and the new Jefferson City Correctional Center was opened. Missouri State Penitentiary holds guided tours in a historical sense as well as paranormal tours at night, which there is a lot of activity.
Woo!
Yes. Tour guide Jenny Switzer has been a guide for 8 years, and she has experienced many encounters she cannot explain, from getting poked in the back when no one was nearby.
No touchies. No touchies.
Or the sound of invisible coins falling on the cement floor to witnessing several ghostly apparitions. On her first night as a tour guide, Switzer was standing in front of a cell door when she had to turn off the light. Immediately, she claimed she felt something just to the right of her and felt their face right up against her cheek.
No.
I don't like that.
No.
She said she could feel him breathing.
Oh, no.
She, in fact, feels him there anytime she visits that specific cell.
He's her bestie now.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Hanging out. On the website of KY3 News, Chad Plain, reporter for the news website, followed David Glidden, founder of 4 State Paranormal and the YouTube series Haunting History into the Missouri State Pen. Oh, Haunted History, sorry. They went into the Missouri State Pen on Halloween to see if they could find any paranormal activity. They caught many things with their equipment, like cold spots, EVPs, and responses with noise in the prison itself. While trying to interact with supernatural phenomenon in Building 3, they began asking questions, and as soon as something stated they were there, both Glidden and Plain felt something grab at their backs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no touchy.
No touchies.
Then both Glidden and Plain had something very strange happen to them as they were in Building 3, aside from being grabbed. They entered the lobby of the basement, as this was the only way to get to the south wing or north wing, okay? From the lobby, the pair both recall going left into the south wing, but then ultimately they came out from the other side of the building from the north wing.
How did that happen?
They do not remember doing this at all. They don't remember. Once they left, they both were so confused because the floor plan is really simple, but they don't remember crossing the lit up lobby because they remembered that was the only area that was lit. Okay. They don't remember going a second time to get to the other side of the building.
That's crazy. So like both of them couldn't remember how they got to.
Correct. Now,
what?
Glidden felt as if almost missing time, but they do have footage of them walking through. So they have them. They see them.
So they did walk through the lobby.
But they don't remember.
Oh, so they are experiencing a collective lost time.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Creepy, right?
Yeah.
And this guy's a reporter. Like the paranormal guy. Yeah, he's doing a lot of things, I'm sure. But the reporter did this too.
Yeah, and his whole job is observation.
Yes.
So it's like,
how do you do that?
That's crazy.
Yeah. In general, many report hearing the sounds of cell doors slamming and experiencing strange smells in certain areas, like cigarette smoke and intense body odor. It's probably just in the walls.
Yeah.
Some seeking the paranormal will report even hearing sounds of children and dogs, which, why?
Why children?
Why children and dogs? I don't know.
Like dogs, I mean, the guards may have had dogs.
Oh, true.
So that would make more sense than
why
children.
But maybe that's the demons. I don't
know.
In Hall A's dungeon cells, many paranormal researchers' equipment will malfunction and stop altogether. But then many report the same equipment will return to normal after leaving the area.
Ooh.
Yes.
They're like, don't record what goes on in the dungeon.
Nope.
Ooh.
Or they're trying to draw that energy and turn it off. Then on the Missouri's News Tribune, they interviewed Tom Wells, an old prison guard that started in 1989. So remember, the prison was still open until 2004.
Yeah, crazy.
He now leads some of the prison's ghost tours and has many of his own experiences with the paranormal. He recalls that on a sunny day at around 3 p.m., so this is in the afternoon, Wells was talking to an inmate named John when he noticed another inmate with long blonde hair and a white T-shirt walk out a door during count. No, this is him talking. They know they're not supposed to be outside. And I thought to myself, you SOB, I'm going to jump down this guy's throat. And I go out there and there's nobody there, he explained. I thought, man, he's run around the building. So I went up the right side of the building. Nobody was there. And the big gate is there and it's all locked. And I was like, I know I've seen this guy. So I ran to the left side and there's a tower right there. I said, hey, has anybody ran by there? And he said, no, it's count time. It's locked down. So I'm like, okay. And there's a van sitting there that we use to take supplies up the hill. And I thought, my God, he's in that van. We got an escape attempt. It's on a hill. So I'm looking underneath as I walk up and I look in the back windows. The seats are all taken out. I look in there and there's nothing there. So I open it up. And in the meantime, John, the inmate, had stepped out front, was watching me. I shut the doors and I'm like, what? And he goes, you ain't going to find that guy. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I saw him. I said, what did he look like? And he said, he had long blonde hair and a white T-shirt. And I'm like, yeah. He says, Wells, we ain't got nobody in this building that looks like that. And I was like, whoa, you're right. It felt like somebody had just punched me in the chest. So multiple sightings
of this blonde with white
guy.
T-shirt, and then he just like walked down and disappears.
Yeah.
I love how John the inmate's like, you're not gonna find him.
Spooky.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, last one. I had to throw this one in here because this is crazy. Okay. Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, PA.
Ooh, that's interesting. So it's a big square, and then it's got like it's cut in diagonals, and then it's got 5 points.
Yeah,
1,
it's
2,
got
3,
a
4, 5.
central building,
central hub, and then 5 legs that go out
at least,
or more. Yeah,
and look at that. That's a fortress.
It's a fortress. Yes, it is a fortress.
It's crazy.
They even have like the little. It looks like a Legos, but the little turrets on the towers.
Yep,
yeah,
that's where the guards were.
What?
Yeah. So Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is known to be one of the most famous and expensive prisons in the world, and also one of the most haunted. Throughout its active time, nearly 85,000 inmates were held inside its
holy
large walls.
bajolies.
85,000.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so in the beginning, construction began for the Cherry Hill State Prison, that's what it was called, on 10 acres of elevated farmland known as Cherry Hill near Philadelphia in 1822. This prison was considered to be the world's first true penitentiary, as if it housed 7 corridors of heated and skylighted cells capable of holding 500 convicts in isolation. Okay,
Oh, wow.
key. This is key to this, okay? Their system was revolutionary, dubbed the quote-unquote Pennsylvania system or separate system, because they believed that separate confinement would be a working form of rehabilitation.
Nope.
Nope.
That is
Nope.
wrong.
Completely wrong. Many leaders believe that crime was a result of environment. So if a criminal is isolated in solitude, it should help them become regretful and penitent. Again, thus the word penitentiary. okay?
Nope. We make ourselves crazy.
Yes. Yes, Angela's got it.
alone.
The warden was legally required to visit every inmate every day and overseers 3 times a day. Eastern State's radial floor plan was the model for over 300 prisons worldwide.
Wow.
From Wikipedia. Some believe that the doors were small so prisoners would have a hard time getting out, minimizing an attack on an officer. Others have explained the small doors forced the prisoners to bow while entering their cell. This design is related to penance and ties to the religious inspiration of the prison. The cells were made of concrete with a single glass skylight representing the eye of God, suggesting to the prisoners that God was always watching them.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Outside the cell was an individual area for exercise enclosed by high walls so prisoners could not communicate. Exercise time for each prisoner was synchronized so no 2 prisoners next to each other would be out at the same time. Prisoners were allowed to garden and even keep pets in their exercise yards. When a prisoner left his cell, an accompanying guard would wrap a hood over his head to prevent him from being recognized by other prisoners.
Oh my gosh. This place
Isolated.
is intense.
Yes.
That you're going to get a lot of psychosis happening in
Yep.
something like that.
Yep. You're
Oh,
gonna.
people.
Yes, it's sad. Cell accommodations were advanced for their time, including a faucet with running water over a flush toilet, as well as curved pipes along part of one wall, which served as central heating during the winter months, where hot water would be run through the pipes to keep the cells reasonably heated. Toilets were remotely flushed twice a week by the guards of the cell block.
Oh, what? Just twice a week?
Twice a week. So even though it's like all like high tech, it's gross. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Stitchers, can you imagine
No.
only flushing your toilet twice a week?
Which means, though, I'm going to guess they weren't given a lot of sustenance because they're not going to be using the toilet much. So I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
Oh, that
Sad.
would not go well in my house.
Well, you would be one, you're not one
just,
to toilet.
yeah, just
so.
one to toilet,
yeah,
but like still.
still.
Ugh.
April 23rd, 1829. The finishing details on the penitentiary are implemented, including the fabrication of masks to keep those prisoners from communicating with each other during the rare trips outside their cells.
Ugh.
October 25th, 1829. The first prisoner sets foot at Eastern Penitentiary. In 1832, William Hamilton tries to pull off the first escape at Eastern Penitentiary. He served as a warden's waiter. He lowered himself from the roof of the front building, was captured immediately.
Well, yeah.
But then in 1837, he did the same exact thing. Still got caught. He's like, I'm going to try again. No.
No.
First time didn't work. Nope. Second time.
Yeah,
second.
it's gonna work the next time.
Sure, no. By 1913, that Pennsylvania system of confinement with solitude becomes officially abandoned. Gee. Yeah, it didn't work out so well and hadn't been working for at least a few decades.
Yeah.
No, didn't work.
No, it no.
Yeah.
Just no.
No, don't do that. Note that women were also inmates in cell block 2 for nearly 100 years.
Whoa.
In 1923, Frida Frost, who was convicted for poisoning her husband, was the last female inmate to leave the prison. Yeah. In July 1923, Leo Callahan and 5 other inmates armed with pistols successfully scaled the east wall after holding up a group of unarmed guards.
How did they get guns?
I don't know. Callahan was one of 4 who escaped and remained permanently at large.
Oh, he was
got out.
successful.
All the others were apprehended.
Woo.
Yep. So he was out on the run. August 12th, 1924, Pennsylvania governor, you're going to love this. Pennsylvania Governor Gifford Pinchot sentenced Pep, the cat murdering dog, yes, an actual dog, to a life sentence at Eastern State.
What?
Yeah.
The heck?
Yeah. Okay. You got to listen to the whole story.
Okay.
Pep allegedly murdered the governor's wife's cherished cat.
Oh, come on.
No, but you got to listen. Pep was assigned an inmate number C2559, which is seen in his mugshot, but the reason of his incarceration is up for debate because a newspaper reported that the governor donated his dog to the prison to increase inmate morale. So who knows? But here's his picture.
Poor Pep. That poor dog.
But
I mean, I
he
don't
was a
know.
really good bright spot of the prison, though. Just know that.
Okay.
In 1929, Chicago gangster Al Capone spent 8 months at Eastern before he moved over to Alcatraz. He was given luxuries, others were not, though the warden denied the report. Luxuries included an armchair, oriental rug, decorative lamps, a radio, and an armoire. There's a photo I'll show you here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I've seen this photo. I've seen
Okay.
that photo
Yes.
of his cell before. Yeah.
So that's what they think that it looked like.
Yeah.
Who knows? 1933 and 1934. Riots broke out over insufficient facilities, overcrowding, and idleness, then over low wages. Prisoners set fire in their cells and destroyed workshops, and the second riot, prisoners short-circuited outlets, started fires, and other disturbances.
Ridiculous. Like, okay, you're a prisoner. Why are you setting fire to the place where you have to live?
Because maybe they'll get out of there and maybe a different building. Who knows? Right? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
I mean,
that's their
they're not
thinking.
treating you exactly humanely anyway.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. Okay. Anyway.
Just trying to start ruckus.
Yeah.
April 3rd, 1945, 12 inmates, including Willie Sutton, infamous bank robber, carried out a major escape. This is crazy. Over the course of a year, this is just like Shawshank, they managed to dig an undiscovered 97-foot tunnel under the prison wall.
It is Shawshank.
Yes. All were caught. Sutton in 3 minutes, Kleine in 3 hours, the rest within a couple months. So they tried.
Yeah.
Note that throughout its 142 years of active use, more than 100 people had escaped from the prison. 100.
Oh.
In 1961, John Klausenberg tricks a guard into opening the cell of another prison, Manuel Madronal. Both overpower the guard and began the largest riot in the prison's history.
Uh-oh.
Several hours later, police, guards, and state troopers were able to reclaim the prison. That's a running theme on all of these prisons.
Yeah.
January 1970, Eastern State Penitentiary closes, and most prisoners are sent to the State Correctional Institution at Graterford. But in 1970 to 1971, the city of Philadelphia decided to house prisoners one last time. They had to transfer the prisoners from the county prison at Holmesburg because of a riot that had broken out.
Oh.
But then after that, they were transferred back quickly. The prison was completely abandoned until the 1980s. Throughout that time, vandals smashed the skylights and windows, and an urban forest grew in the halls and cells. Thankfully, the building was saved and salvaged thanks to the city and charity efforts. In 1994, Eastern State Penitentiary opened up again for historic tours on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. Now, note that if you did not follow rules to a T, like not speak at all while in isolation, remember isolation, or caught trying to communicate in some way to other inmates, the punishment that was given was extremely severe.
Oh, no.
There was a torture-like device called the iron gag.
Oh.
Matthias McCumsley was served with this punishment in 1834 when he was only a few months into his sentence, and he just needed to talk. He started talking to his neighbor and was caught by guards, so they threw the iron gag on him. What is it?
I don't think I want to know. I mean, okay. It's, I don't know. That looks
It's creepy.
It looks like a medieval torture device.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Let's go through the process.
Okay.
This reminds me of those witch trials that we were talking about.
Yeah.
So to get it on, they have to bound and shackle your hands behind your back first.
Okay.
Then they put an iron casted gag over your tongue. The gag is attached by chains to the shackles on your wrists. So, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. None of that is comfortable at all. If you move your hands, you're pulling on your tongue and pushing it back in your mouth. And
so poor Macumsey.
Oh, no.
After being left alone, they returned only 1 hour later to find him dead in his cell.
Yeah.
Apparently, the iron collar ripped up his tongue and he bled to death.
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about torture.
Who comes up with this crap? They're so
Inhumane
evil and
people.
sadistic
Yep.
and just,
They're evil.
it's upsetting. It's so, I know I have like a podcast where we talk about this stuff. It's so upsetting.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's really gross. Just like the other prisons I've talked about, Eastern also had their version of the hole. Theirs was a dank underground cell where inmates had no light, no human contact, no exercise, no toilet, and little food and air. Then there was the mad chair. So in those times, medical science was still being figured out, and early Philadelphia doctors believed mental illness spread throughout the body, like through circulation. Why? This is so insane. So they concluded that in order to cure sanity, blood shouldn't pump through the body. And the best way to do this was to restrict all movement.
Oh my gosh, people.
Yep. Thus the mad chair. They would strap inmates into this chair so tightly that it was impossible to move at all. The inmates were forced to sit in this chair for days without food.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Of course, we know this did more harm than good.
Yeah.
Inmates often needed limbs amputated after spending any time in the mad chair.
Oh my gosh.
Amputated.
Oh my gosh.
And last of the torture devices, we have the water bath. During the winter, if an inmate broke any rules, the guard would dunk their head in ice cold water, then hang them on a wall all night. The freezing air would cause their skin to ice over before morning, and sadly, many didn't survive until morning.
I'm gonna cry,
I
Nicole.
know.
This is so
It's
horrible.
evil.
It's
Evil.
evil.
But as mentioned way before, Eastern State Penitentiary is believed to be super haunted. Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures conducted a paranormal investigation at the prison and were able to capture disembodied voices, shadow figures, and other unexplainable occurrences. Travel Channel's Porters to Hell also had some strange events where something or someone played with the equipment set up in the building, as well as the producer and crew hearing strange whispering and voices. Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunters captured an apparition of a man, walking through cell block 12. And crew from Travel Channel's Most Haunted captured objects moving on their own. So many. Investigators with the production claim to have communicated with multiple spirits. But what's insane is since the 1940s, inmates, staff, and guards would have their own eerie stories about the penitentiary. So this location has been most likely haunted for a very long time.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Al Capone himself felt as if he was haunted in his room by the ghost of James Clark, one of his St. Valentine's Day massacre victims. Prisoners would hear Capone at night begging James's spirit. He would be screaming at Jimmy to leave him alone.
That's
creepy.
okay.
Yeah?
It's creepy. But okay. Also, I fully believe, based on the style of this prison, if you're in isolation, you're going to start hallucinating.
Oh,
so
totally.
I'm sure a lot of this is like
people seeing things.
they're hallucinating. They're dealing with their own demons that they came into with. So, I mean, that sounds like Al Capone just going crazy because of the place.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. But many guests have claimed to catch a glimpse of a man standing in a guard tower on the property. However, it is physically impossible for any living human being to climb to the top of that tower today, as the brick stairs crumbled away years ago.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes. One of the most legendary tales is that of Gary Johnson, who helps to maintain the old locks in the prison. Apparently, in the early 1990s, Johnson had just opened an old lock in cell block 4 when he claims a force gripped him so tightly that he was unable to move.
Oh.
What he described was a negative, horrible energy that basically exploded out of the cell. He then said tormented faces appeared on the cell walls, and that one form in particular beckoned to him.
Oh, no. I do not
Spooky,
want that
right?
experience.
Others have also seen these faces inside the cells of cell block 4 in particular.
Dude.
Then in cell block 6, there have been strange shadows moving along the walls that have been spotted by staff. Cell block 12 have reports of disembodied laughter when no one is in the vicinity.
That's creepy.
Yes. The voices.
That feels like very clownish to me. Just like,
Oh, yeah, that is. Right?
Like,
No, I don't want that. The voices in cell block 12 are also to be said so loud that they echo throughout the long stone corridors of the prison. Apparently, there's one shadow spirit that's been around for many years, even when the prison was inhabited. This shadowy figure stands completely still, and because of this, sometimes it will go completely unnoticed. But then if you approach it, the shadow dashes away. That'd be scary. You're just like walking along, and then you go like, boom.
that's fun.
Right? Oh, no, I don't like that.
It's a shadow,
It's
but
a shadow.
I think that's fun. That would give me like a big scare. I would scream and then I would just start laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably run the other way.
Yeah.
The last spirit I will mention, Pep the dog, is seen
puppy.
and heard throughout the prison. When he was living at Eastern, he was given free reign to roam around the prison and to go wherever he pleased. So visitors and staff have seen him in multiple locations. Most often people claim to hear his dog tags jangling through corridors, and sometimes people will hear howls in the dead of the night. And I just attached a creepy photo of what it looked like in the hall.
That is a creepy hallway.
That's what it looks like today.
Dude.
So there you go.
Wow.
Eastern State Penitentiary. And I'm done.
Okay. Oh my gosh. That was a wild ride.
It's scary and sad, isn't it?
It's incredibly heartbreaking how cruel people can be to each other. And just because somebody does something bad doesn't mean they deserve to be treated inhumanely.
Right.
I don't know. There's a better way to help or take care of people that cannot function in society. Yes, I know a lot of these people are sadistic and murderers. A lot of them have other mental health issues and things, but they're still people. We still, they're still people.
Yes.
And, there's a lot of feelings and things about this, but dude, it's crazy to go to these places. And I mean, first of all, I would be just incredibly intimidated to go into a prison because of all the history that's behind it. And I know like there's a lot of malice and evilness that's attached to it, whether it's from the inmates or from the people that were housing the inmates.
Right.
And
it's like all over. It's just
right.
So much energy.
So much negative
crazy
energy happening in there.
Yeah.
And so like, I feel like I would pick up on that, pretty quickly.
Right.
But like, I don't know, man. I still want to go to Alcatraz though. I still want to go.
I do want to go there.
Okay.
Still.
So we'll still do that.
Yeah, that's our trip. But
okay.
man.
I'm exhausted. I'm sure you are. There's a lot going through all of that. So much. If you guys have any other stories from penitentiaries or anything that you want us to touch on, we want to know. You can email us at theominoussstitch@gmail.com. You can also just email us and say, hey, I enjoy the podcast. I'm a listener and I just wanted to say hi because we want to hear from you. We love hearing from you. So you can email us. You can go on to any of our social medias, mostly Instagram. That's where we spend a lot of our time, and we're moving on to TikTok more now too. We're trying. So trying to keep up with, the young ones.
I feel so old.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've got 5 years on you. So
doesn't feel like it.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, drop by, let us know that you're listening. We want to hear from you. We love our Stitchers and we want to, establish that stronger connection with you guys.
Yep.
You can also go over to podbean.com. That is where we host our podcast. You can get show notes and see all the cool pictures from anything that we've talked about today or in previous episodes. There's also a little button, you guys know the drill, in the upper right-hand corner called Become a Patron. Your support means the world to us. We cannot continue to do this podcast without the support of our patrons. So we love you. We appreciate you. And we will show that appreciation by sending you cool stuff, giving you guys shout outs. It's March. We got to do another shout out.
Oh, yay.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. So our patrons right now, we have, let's see if we can go alphabetical order.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Avery's first. That one's easy because it's an
job.
A.
Okay, Becca.
Becca. We'll go Becca.
Brittany.
Did we do that right? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Becca, Brittany. And then we have Kate and then
Michael.
Mike and
That's it.
and Janet. Yeah. Mike and Janet. They're together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Janet, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it.
That's it. Yay. Yes. So thank you, patrons. We love you guys.
You're
Thank you for your
small but
support.
mighty.
Small but mighty. There will be a patron episode coming out in the next couple weeks. I'm going to say it's coming out soon.
That'll be fun.
So be on the lookout for that. And you can become a patron now and don't miss out on patron exclusive content.
Yes, they're fun.
They are fun. Oh, okay. I'm exhausted, but we have one more thing to dive into.
Which I'm so excited about.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Let's find out together.
Yes.
It's movie time.
This week's movie review, Se7en, released in 1995.
Guys, can you believe it was 1990? We were just talking about this during the break there.
1995.
You have a super young Brad Pitt. I'm sorry. I'll let you do your thing. I interrupted you.
That's okay.
Okay, keep going. Give us the synopsis.
All right, wait. IMDb rating, 8.6 stars. It's one of the higher ones.
Oh, yeah.
Synopsis. 2 detectives, a rookie and a veteran, hunt a serial killer who uses the 7 deadly sins as his motives. Yeah, so young Brad Pitt, young
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yep, young Morgan Freeman.
So Morgan Freeman has like 2 ties in this episode, from Shawshank, from the Ohio State Reformatory.
Oh.
And then this movie.
You're right.
Morgan Freeman's
Look at
everywhere.
that.
I love
that.
Morgan Freeman.
He's one of my favorites.
Man, you know it's going to be a great movie with Morgan Freeman.
Oh, always.
In it. Yeah.
Always. But man, this movie is not my like top 10 where I'm going to be on a, island, but it's one of those, my favorite like murder mystery movies because it's so well done. So well done. Just the cinematography, the actors, you got a young Kevin Spacey in there too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's really well done. And my husband, after I watched it, first thing, I watched it in the morning, right when I was eating my breakfast. So what I texted Nicole, I was like, so I've learned a couple things from watching Se7en. Don't eat your breakfast while you're watching the movie. And she's like, I hope it wasn't cereal. I'm like, it's better that it was cereal and not spaghetti. But
gross. Yeah, spoiler alerts all over. I'm sure those that love movies,
our rule is that if the movie can drink, then we can spoil it.
That's
and
true.
This movie can definitely drink.
Oh my gosh. This movie is, again, it's just
it's almost 30 years old, Nicole.
I don't like hearing that.
Because I just did the math. Isn't that nuts?
No, it is crazy. Oh my gosh. I feel so old. Anyway, this detective movie is amazing because, again, it also gives you this crazy dynamic of these 2 detectives, right? Brad Pitt, he's young, he's new, he's like full of fire.
Yes, he sees everything
action.
black and white and doesn't see the gray of things.
But Morgan Freeman sees everything.
Morgan Freeman is all about. He's tired.
He's tired. He's
literally trying to retire.
He feels like, I think he's just given up on humanity in a sense because he's just seen so much.
Yeah.
But this was interesting though. I was watching this with the Hubs like a few weeks ago actually, and do they ever say where they are?
No.
Exactly.
And I watched, so that when my husband came home, I told him, I was like, okay, so I watched Se7en today. And he's like, you know what's in the box now, don't you? I'm like, yes, I do. And then he starts pulling up all these YouTube things about the movie and about how Yes, the whole point is that you don't know where
You
they are.
don't know where they are. It's some grimy city.
They keep the shots very tight, so it looks like it could be anywhere in any city, and that's the point.
We just speculated it's New York. We kept speculating, but you don't know.
Yeah, because they have the subway. They talk about the subway,
and you've got
but it could be like anywhere.
Yeah, it could be really anywhere USA. So, but yeah, and then Gwyneth Paltrow follows him along because he's, that's his job. So she follows him along, but she's young, and you could see that, and it's just, and then you follow,
20s.
Yeah, you follow their journey in this whole situation. And Brad Pitt's character Mills, he never learns. You understand that he just he's fly by the seat of his pants,
Yeah,
and
he's not. He doesn't have the experience yet.
Right, and he thinks he does.
Yeah, because everything is still very black and white for him, and he doesn't understand that
no subtleties.
Yeah, the whole point is that you're in this city and humanity is gone, and that's what John Doe, his whole thing is. He's like, you're surrounded by sin and you're so numb to it that you don't see it, and so I'm trying to bring it out so you can see the sins of everyday life. And Morgan Freeman is the real savior of the whole thing, because he sees it and he realizes that no matter what he does, he can't change the nature of people, and he can't change the fact that we're all so numb to the sins that are surrounding us.
Exactly.
And he's so tired of trying to right all the wrongs and get people to change, or to get people to, be quote unquote good and not just accept all of the evil that is happening around them and become numb to it. And he's like, I can't do it anymore. And then I was learning about his last line in the movie. He said something about, I can't even remember the last line, but it was a whole thing about the last line.
Oh, Ernest Hemingway, the world is a fine place and worth fighting for. I agree with the second part. Detective Summers. Yes.
So his last line is, the world is a fine place and worth fighting for. And that's Ernest Hemingway. But he says he agrees with the second part. The world is not a fine place.
Right.
Because people are just numb to the evils that they bring, and they're surrounding all the sin and all the, we're just so used to it.
Right.
But it is worth fighting for.
Yes.
And that sums up his character, to the T and to the tone of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you know I just got deja vu when you started that whole rant?
No, but you're looking at me strangely. So I was
really
like,
creepy, because I was like, I've heard you say this.
Oh.
Anyway.
Woohoo!
Spooky.
Little spooky paranormal
Holy
thing
crap.
for you guys.
Anyway, yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, that's exactly, she sums it up well. It's so poignant, and like, I just love this movie. It's creepy, and it's like gut wrenching.
It's a really great message.
But the you don't know what's happening. The mystery, if you've never seen it before, it's such a fun twist of everything. Twists like left and right.
Yeah.
And it just gets you hooked. And I've seen this like 5 times at least, and I still can't get enough of it. So it's
this is movie. I can't believe I haven't seen it.
Yes.
This is my first time watching it.
Yeah, I know.
So, and like it's kind of like when I watched The Exorcist for the first time, I like know the memes and I know what's in the box. I didn't know what was in the box
until
but
now.
I've seen him scream that.
Right.
And
Brad Pitt does a wonderful job at that. He does a good job.
He does a great job. Character. Like he and Morgan Freeman are complete foils of each other.
Yes.
So that was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
And it's I had some issues with Gwyneth Paltrow's character, but she was a 90s woman.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's how we were written at the time. Mm-hmm. But it was good. It was really good. I think IMDb's rating is like right on there. Yeah. 8.6.
Yeah.
Yeah. High stitches. Yeah. It's gruesome. There's a lot of like stuff that you're like, oh.
That's why it's like gut wrenching. Oh.
Yeah, don't eat your cereal while you're watching
Don't eat, period, while you're watching this.
Don't eat. Some, they don't show everything. But they do show a lot of things. And
oh, yeah. And you can use your imagination on a few of those crazy.
Gosh.
That's why it is R-rated. Okay, so don't let your kids watch this,
No,
please.
don't let your kids. Probably the worst one for me was Lust.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. the knife. Oh no. I can't even imagine. No. That was crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, it's there. I mean, it makes you think about humanity,
Right.
think about the way that we operate and treat each other. It's a great theme for what we taught with the prisons. Like,
Yep.
who is the evil
Yeah.
happening here? Where is the evil happening here?
True.
Evil doesn't outdo evil.
No, it shouldn't.
And yeah,
But yeah. Good
again,
movie.
I'll get off my soapbox now. But yeah, evil doesn't outdo evil.
No,
It doesn't.
amazing movie. Good directing. That's all
David
around.
Lynch
Yeah.
is really good.
All around.
It's absolutely a classic.
Yeah.
So
Go see it.
go see it if
you
you haven't seen it. It is on, what did we watch it on? Max?
But I
Yeah.
think it's also on Amazon. I think it's on
Probably.
a few, but it's gonna leave
It's
Max
a 30-year-old movie. So
30-year-old, but it's amazing.
it's really good. So if you're like me and haven't seen it, this is, a classic horror film
Yeah.
to watch, because it really gets you.
You can stitch if you don't want to watch the spooky parts.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch the gory, it's really dark.
Yes.
And it's really obviously on purpose, but
Right.
like it's, they're dealing with very derelict and just horrible places to be.
Oh, so just grungy. Some of the places are just, I can't imagine filming this and the room with the, what is it? Sloth.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Oh God, that makes my stomach turn.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Good movie.
Yeah. Good movie.
Great movie. Thumbs up.
It's such a ray of sunshine. No, it's not. Not a ray of sunshine.
No.
But it's a good movie and
Yes.
it makes you think.
Yes,
so
it does.
8.6. What would you give it?
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Almost a 9. Yeah.
Almost a 9.
Yeah.
It's nice and high. It's up there.
Totally.
It's good.
Just give me a big smile.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I
Woo.
guess we've come to the end of another amazing episode.
This was
you guys.
amazing.
This was a lot.
I
It was
know.
a lot.
I had to unpack a lot for you.
Yeah, you guys need to go have a cup of coffee or take a break with some yarn and get back into
Real world.
yourself and go, bring yourself back. No, okay.
I loved it.
It was a great episode.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
You always do such a great job.
You're sweet.
And thank you for letting me just sit here and be like, wow.
That's why I love telling you these. You've never heard of these. I love it.
I know. So thank you for another amazing episode, Nicole.
You're welcome. I got freaked out real quick. Your cat just jumped like super high.
Oh, yeah, he does
I
that.
saw a shadow and I was like, there's your ghost. No, it's a cat.
It's a cat. But he does see ghosts, though. He will sit
sure
up
he
there and
will.
just stare at the ceiling,
That's not cool.
or stand on his hind legs and stare at the ceiling, or like look around.
Who's
and,
here?
I don't know. He sees
Communicate
ghosts.
with us. No, don't communicate with us.
Ooh,
You can
maybe
hang
we're picking it up on the podcast. We gotta end this. Okay, until next time. We'll see you, Stitchers.
See you, Stitchers.